Good evening and welcome to Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, the home of the Jamestown Jammers. The skies are gray and cloudy, but the Jammers are hoping that those clouds part and they have some sunshine sticking out at the end of tonight's game, because the Jammers enter into tonight's championship series game against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, down 1-0. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Shannon. Happy to have you aboard on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. That includes WWCB Radio, WWCB Stream 2. Also available on TuneIn Radio with the TuneIn app. Just search for Jamestown Jammers, and available on YouTube this evening, streaming live. Well, it was a tough one to watch last night. The Jammers very seldom getting blown out of games over the course of this season, but that's exactly what happened to them last night, being blown out 11-1 by the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Now, one of the things, well, let's give you two of the things that were said in the dugout of the Diamond Dogs after the game when they were celebrating their win. It was heard, "They're overrated. We proved they're overrated." That was one of the things that the Diamond Dogs were chanting last night after the game was over. And the other one, "We're much better than they are. The West Division is," well, we can't go into that. But the bottom line is, a little bit of bulletin board material, if you will. I don't think our players heard it, based on the conversation I had with Anthony Barone in our pregame show. We'll get caught up with Anthony and Hayden. Hayden Carter is the assistant coach and pitching coach. They're both next as the pregame show continues on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available, with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
It is Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series. It's between the Jammers and the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. And Game 2 has taken on a whole lot of importance because of what happened last night. We always look back at the previous game and talk about things that happened there. There were some good things that happened there, although not nearly enough, as we lost that one 11-1.
Yeah, it was, I guess, an eye-opener. We got it taken to us pretty good, and sometimes you need that to wake up and snap out of whatever you're in that day. So I'm confident our guys, will respond today and just play a good baseball game, be competitive, and give ourselves a chance to win in the ninth inning.
One of the things that one of the players that stood out to me last night, and really over the course of the postseason, has been Nick Bernick. I think part of your rationale in using Nick was you liked the way he played second base, but now he's become an offensive force for the team as well.
Well, yeah, we primarily put him in there. It's postseason. We want to put our best defensive team out there, and Nick's a really good defensive second baseman, but he's really had quality at bats all throughout the postseason, and working counts and having base hits and bunting guys over and doing little things, getting hit by pitches, and he's been really good. He's been one of our best players this postseason.
Another guy that kind of popped up who had a rough end to his season, Chris Estrada, was a guy that was in the mid-300s over the course of the regular season and then just went into a tailspin at the end of the season. But he seems to have come back now that the postseason's here.
Yeah, it's tough. This is his first experience with summer baseball, even though he's going to be a senior. So, it wears you down, and Chris, plays a primary position at third base, and I know he was tired and sore, and, that bat gets heavy by the end of the summer. So, we gave him a couple days off at the end of the year. I think that helped him, and yeah, he's been really good and more like himself offensively this past couple games.
Well, I know that's something he told us about when we did the player profile interview. He talked about the fact that he had a downturn at the end of the season at UTSA as far as his offensive output goes, but it's really promising, I think, to see him even though all the things you just mentioned, to be able to come back and be a real productive part of the postseason for the Jammers here. Pitching last night was a piecework kind of thing that you put together. And the first piece of that puzzle was Isaac Meza, who to me is a standout, take charge kind of guy. And he just had a tough one against Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, it was his first start all season, college ball and summer ball, and probably had a little bit too much adrenaline going. And it's something as a freshman he's going to learn. It'll be a big part of his development as a pitcher throughout the future. And looking back to last night, how he handled it and what he can do differently. And I thought he's had a wonderful season. So it's a big situation I put him in, and hopefully we'll pick him back up today and get a win.
Nolan Hunt is a guy that has been a real stalwart for you from the bullpen over the course of the summer, and he came in and did his usual job again last night.
Yeah, I thought Nolan was good. I know he's been primarily used out of the pen, and I think that's been his best role for our team. Could he have been a starter? Absolutely. But for us, we valued him out of the bullpen. He's become one of our guys, like you said, a stalwart out of the pen, and he did a good job keeping it at bay yesterday and giving us a chance.
All right, so we turn the page, move on to the next day, and you find yourself in win or it's over situation, which really in a best-of-3 championship series is kind of there every day when you look at it. So you knew this was coming, and if we win this one, it's down to the same thing again tomorrow.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
Yeah, right.
We'll go out. I think the guys are comfortable here at home, and all we can do is play the best we can play. And if it's meant to be for us, we'll take charge of the game and the series and everything else. But our guys are going to play their hardest, and me and Coach Carter are going to do the things that we feel will be make our team successful, and that's all we can do. We put ourselves in this situation, and and there's really no pressure. We've had a wonderful season, and this is just the last piece, and they held serve at their place, and now it's our turn to do it here in Jamestown.
One of the things that we see a lot of as far as sports reporting goes is postseason or regular season, more often in the NFL it seems than what happens in Major League Baseball, but it happens there as well. And it's called billboard or bulletin board material. And that's when a team member or even a manager or whatever from an opposition team makes a quote that really gets under your skin and serves as motivation for the team. We kind of got that last night, and I understand a post-game reaction when you're in a playoff that you're excited and you're really pumped up about the fact that you did that, but there were some things that were said that were pretty insulting about the team, and it's kind of bulletin board material coming into this.
Well, yeah, I didn't even mention anything to my team. It's all in sport. Whatever happens on the field stays there, and our guys, it doesn't matter what other team, we have to focus on what we need to do to be, to win a game tonight. And if we focus on what other teams say or, what they, their actions, it doesn't help us at all. And I understand what you're saying, and sometimes it does motivate guys, but I don't think you need any extra motivation, to try to win a championship here. So, but yeah, you're right. It can be motivating, but I'm going to choose not to use that as a motivator. I'm going to use the fact that we're playing for a championship as motivation enough.
All right, and we get down to the nuts and bolts of tonight's game. First of all would be your starting pitcher taking the ball from you tonight.
Corey Blessing.
Okay.
And, we're expecting big things out of Corey. This is his second year with us, and, he's been one of my guys. So we, I know he probably wanted to be a little bit in a different situation where he felt a little more confident at the end of the year, but all that stuff all his numbers from the regular season mean nothing right now. It's postseason, and if he commands the zone, he's always tough to hit. So and the fact that he's been there, he's done that, I feel really, really confident with him.
All he has to do is come up with a game like he did at Utica last year in the regular season, and we'll be fine. And finally, the lineup. There have been some things that have maybe been a little surprising about the way that some of the players have responded here to the postseason so far, I suspect that you probably have some plans to maybe stir things up a little bit and get these guys motivated even more.
Yeah, we're going to move Conti to the leadoff spot tonight, bump Estrada up to the 2-hole, and move Conley in the middle of the order. And, you know, we got Cross behind the plate tonight. So other than that, it'll be the same lineup, same guys out there, just a little bit different look. And maybe that, you know, sometimes you do it just because as a coach, it makes you feel like you're doing something, you know, and you're trying to change your fortune. But ultimately, it's about the type of at-bats that each player has, and you know, and the type of pitches that they throw. Me making a different lineup just puts guys in different positions to do different things.
All right. Well, we'll talk to Hayden, and then we'll get this thing started tonight. But obviously, we're looking forward to a Game 3 tomorrow night here against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, and that means good luck tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, back with Hayden Carter, the assistant coach and pitching coach of the Jammers, right after this time out on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Here with Hayden Carter, assistant coach and pitching coach of the Jamestown Jammers, getting set for the all-important Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series game against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. And Hayden, last night was a little bit of an eye-opener. I think we knew some things about this Mohawk Valley team coming in based on the way they sailed through the postseason after having a rough end of their regular season. We got to see what that's all about last night.
Yeah, I mean, from our standpoint, it was just, I know we talked about it before the game. It was all a matter of not giving stuff away and limiting the free stuff in terms of walks and hit by pitches, and we didn't really do a great job of that. At the beginning of the game, I talked about how Isaac, in order for him to be successful, he would need to continue his good rate of throwing strikes, and unfortunately he didn't do that. And the Mohawk Valley, like any good team would, they took advantage of our mistakes, and we gambled on some in some situations with the intentional walk to Olive, and just didn't really work out for us. But yeah, that's what good teams do, and we wouldn't expect anything less.
And after that call to the bullpen, no, actually, it was just a phone that rang here in the office. But anyway, back with Hayden here as we continue talking about tonight's game against Mohawk Valley and talking about the fact that we get to see them. We saw them way back at the beginning of the season. This is a completely different team than what we saw back then. And I'm pretty sure they have a batting order there that they've kind of stuck with throughout the course of the postseason. And we got to see the threats that are there. And, you know, Anthony likes to talk about good at-bats, and there were some guys that didn't have the best at-bats, but then would come up the next time and be able to do something. I know that's something you go through as a pitching coach as well. When you have them in a position where you force them into a bad at-bat, you want to repeat that the second time around.
Yeah, I think they just had a good approach at the plate. With 2 strikes, they really did a good job of just putting the ball in play. Especially early in the game against Isaac and partially against Nolan. I could count on 2 hands how many hits they had that just seemed like bloopers, but I think that was just a credit to their approach, that they're just going to put the bat on the ball and let the defense either make a mistake or put pressure on them. Either way, I think they just had a good approach, and hopefully we can learn from it tonight and in terms of finishing guys multiple times through the order, and we'll go from there.
Anything in particular? I know we have Corey Blessing starting tonight, and once again I'll throw out that thing, all hands on deck as far as the rest of the staff goes, I would assume.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, tonight's kind of similar to the Onondaga game. It's win or go home, so we're hoping for Corey to hopefully show some signs from last year and give us a game, like you said, similar to Utica, and hopefully he can kind of right the ship that he's been on the past couple weeks in his starts. So yeah, like you said, it's going to be all hands on deck. Hopefully we don't have to use everyone, but I mean everyone's available except for Isaac and Gilhouse, and tomorrow's starter Griggs. Hopefully if we get there, but yeah, it's win or go home. So it's I mean, as soon as any trouble, hopefully that doesn't happen. Any trouble hits, we'll get them out of there.
What did you see as far as your pitchers as a group and their reaction to last night's loss at Mohawk Valley?
Are you talking about the guys that pitched? Or yeah. I mean, I thought Isaac handled it well. I think he just, like Barone said, he had a lot of adrenaline, and I don't think he was the same pitcher that we've seen over the last couple months. I mean, we walked a lot of guys, so that's never a good recipe for success, especially for us. Just because, I mean, whenever we walk guys, it seems like they always score. So, I thought Nolan did a good job. He kind of got bit by the fielding error that happened in right field. They kind of took a bad hop, but I thought Gilhouse threw well. I think only one ball was hit hard off of him the whole night, and it seemed like half of the hits that they give up was just like bloopers. So I thought our pitchers threw fine. We just got to limit the walks and get ahead of guys, and when we get to 2 strike counts, we can't give them anything to hit.
Staff excited about tonight's game, I would assume.
Yeah, we're excited for the opportunity. I think again, it's all hands on deck, so everyone's prepared to answer the bell when their name is called. So hopefully the guys come prepared and throw a lot of strikes and get a lot of outs.
All right. Well, it's been an interesting ride throughout the course of the season. There have been some situations that have arisen that caused certain things to change with the pitchers. I think they've all responded reasonably well. And in certain cases, you never know what will happen when you call somebody up that has been primarily a bullpen guy for you over the course of a season, and you call them up and say, hey, I want you to start the game for me. And we've seen that, it's a different animal. It is completely different than coming out of the pen, and I'm sure you know that very well yourself. But all in all, I think the staff has been a good responsive one over the course of the year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think for Isaac individually, I think it was a good learning experience for him just because he hasn't started at the college level, and I think it was a good chance for him to kind of take those lumps in a big game situation where he can hopefully take those experiences back to Bakersfield and get better from it. But I think as a whole, our guys have responded pretty well. So hopefully tonight, I mean, whatever guy we put out there can hopefully right the ship that we created last night.
All right. Well, as I said to Anthony, as you head into tonight's game in a must-win situation to try to get to a championship game, good luck tonight.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
All right. Back with the start of tonight's game after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone.
Okay, think. Where'd you have them last?
I was home, then I spent them on that vacation in this tiny suit of armor. Now they're gone.
Weird.
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Oh, I broke his little gauntlet.
Oh no.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Psst. Yeah, you. It's me. Your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active. But lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. But I like my job. Just treat me better. Check on me. Give me something green to nibble on every once in a while. And maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, where the Jammers are trying to make this one of 2 games to be played here. They got to win tonight to force a Game 3 tomorrow against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs in this postseason championship series. I'm Dave Shannon, happy to have you on the Jammers Baseball Network. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs tonight. Leading off shortstop, number 3, Alexis Monge Rodriguez. Batting second, left fielder, number 13, Tim Zeng. Hitting third, catcher, number 20, Clay Konienski. Hitting fourth, it is the first baseman, number 24, Russ Olive. Batting fifth, center fielder, number 10, Ben Porter. In the sixth hole, right fielder, number 6, Austin Pollock. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 32, Dan Dealey. Batting eighth, it is the designated hitter, number 28, Lucas Terwilliger. And batting ninth and playing second base, it's number 4, Joe Engel. And if that lineup sounds familiar, it should. That's the exact same lineup that the head coach of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, Blake Nation, set out last night, and it was very successful, an 11-1 victory against the Jammers. Around the outfield tonight for the Jammers, it is Jimmy Standahar in left, Skylar Valentine in center, John Conti in right, Chris Estrada at third, Alex O'Donnell at short, Nick Burnick at second, Ben Brookover at first, Matt Cross behind the plate, and Corey Blessing with the first pitch of the night comes with some heat. It is high, and it's taken by Monge Rodriguez for ball 1. Jamestown Jammers hoping to get one back here tonight. The 1-0 pitch is right down the pipe, taken by Monge Rodriguez, and the count is now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Your umpires for tonight's game: behind the plate, it's Frank McClellan. Down at first base, Dustin Ragsdale. At second, Rick Elrod. And down at third, it's Bill Stanley. 1-1 the count on Alexis Monge Rodriguez. This one is fouled back over the press box, and the count is now 1-2. And the fans pretty excited here at the start of the game, and the Jammers are going to need their backing in tonight's ball game. Monge Rodriguez last night went 3 for 4 against the Jammers, scored 3 runs, and he walked 1 time, as well as OPS of 1.550. 1-2 pitch. Reaches out and slaps it foul down the first base line and beyond the first base bleachers. Count remains 1-2 on Alexis Monge Rodriguez. Corey Blessing, the right-handed pitcher for the Jammers, and Alexis Monge Rodriguez, the right-handed hitter at the plate for the Diamond Dogs. 1-2 pitch again. Off-speed delivery stays high, and the count is now even at 2. The umpires behind home plate felt differently about the call than Frank McClellan did, but it's now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Corey Blessing with a big pitch here. The break even. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of Matt Cross for the first out here in the top of the first inning. Ryan Markey already ferrying some balls out to home plate umpire Frank McClellan, and Tim Zeng, the left fielder, steps to the plate for the Diamond Dogs. Last night, Zeng was also 3 for 4, scored 2 runs, hit a double, picked up an RBI, and his OPS is 1.8 because his slugging percentage is 1. A big cut and a miss on the first pitch from Corey Blessing, strike 1. Best way to get this off and rolling is to come out and make a statement as a pitcher, and Corey Blessing thus far has. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. The curveball over the outside corner, and a wave and a miss by Zeng, and the count now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody aboard, 1 out. We're in the top of the first inning. No score in the game. Corey Blessing with the 0-2 pitch. This one's popped, a little looper. Alex O'Donnell in shallow center field makes his way over and makes the catch. Good alert play by Nick Bernick as he was headed in the same direction and realized O'Donnell was coming for it and yielded to Alex, and he caught it. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Clay Konieski. Konieski in last night's game went 1 for 5. Did not score. Did pick up an RBI, though. And the first pitch to him misses, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Clay Konieski. 2 out, nobody aboard. 1-0 pitch. Inside, backs Konieski off the plate a bit, and it's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
While we're talking, Matt, is everything ready for paper toss?
2-0 count. 2 out, nobody aboard. Here in the top of the first inning, the 2-0 pitch. Outside corner, strike 1 called. The count now 2-1 on Clay Konieski. Konieski for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, 6'1", $1.90 from Schwenksville. Attending Monmouth, just wrapped up his sophomore campaign this spring. 2-1 pitch. Just missed. In about the same area as strike 1 was, but instead it's ball 3, and the count now 3-1 to Clay Konieski. 3 balls, 1 strike. Big pitch here for Corey. Hit high in the air, deep to left field. Standahar going back, looking up, and this one is well out of Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park. A solo homer for Clay Konieski, and the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs have taken a 1-0 lead. And not the kind of thing that you wanted to see if you're a Jammers fan. Everybody is out of the dugout, and of course the bullpen guys are already down in the dugout here at the start of the game. And a lot of chest thumping going on there as Konieski makes it a 1-0 game. Russ Olive, on the regular season, one of the most dangerous hitters in the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. As a matter of fact, leading hitter on the team as far as average goes. But last night, 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored. First pitch to him by Corey Blessing, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 2 out, and a 1-0 Mohawk Valley lead. The 0-1 pitch from Corey. Misses outside, count evens, 1-1. By the way, should there be a game tomorrow night, if you want to come for all of that excitement, if we can get a win here tonight, $2 admission into a postseason playoff game. Next pitch misses outside low, and the count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Not the kind of position you want to be in against a team like Mohawk Valley, pitching from behind in the count. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He just blew that right by him, and the count's even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Russ Olive at the plate. Let's see if Corey can get him here. The left-handed hitting first baseman takes it on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. He turns and just walks toward the Diamond Dogs dugout. He is the final out of the inning, and 2 strikeouts in the inning for Corey Blessing. No runs, a hit. There were no Jammers errors and nobody left. We've completed a half, and the score, Diamond Dogs 1, Jammers coming to bat on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the first woman is now in space.
Military stereotypes are challenged today with the trailblazing promotion of a U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
Welcome back to Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. I'm Dave Shannon. Here's your Jammers lineup for tonight's game against Mohawk Valley. Leading off, the right fielder, number 6, John Conti, batting second. Third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada. Hitting third, the DH, number 17, Chris Conley. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover. In the 5-hole, center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 1, Alex O'Donnell. Hitting seventh, left fielder, number 29, Jimmy Standahar. Batting eighth, it is the catcher tonight, number 21, Matt Cross. And batting ninth, it will be the second baseman, Nick Burnick. Well, the Jamestown Jammers, that is, have to come up with an answer early in this ball game, trailing by a score of 1-0. Leading off, John Conti, and the first pitch to him. Inside corner, strike one called. Going to be a long night if we're looking at those inside corners like that. No balls and a strike to John Conti. The 0-1 pitch. That one's low, and the count evens up at 1-1. John Conti in last night's game, 1 for 3. Picked up an RBI. He did walk once and an .833 OPS. Yeah, that's a one-game sample, but that's what went on last night at Mohawk Valley. Next pitch to him missed, and the count now 2-1. Give you the defensive alignment for the Diamond Dogs here in a sec. That one catches the inside corner. Counts now even at 2-2 on John Conti. Doug Molnar, the starting pitcher tonight for the Diamond Dogs, and the 2-2 pitch misses inside and low, and the count 3-2, and a good patient at bat to start things off for John Conti. John Conti in the postseason. Well, he hits that one deep to right center field, over the head of the center fielder, Ben Porter, all the way to the wall. Conti will at least be at third, and that's where Anthony Barone will hold him. Standing up, leadoff triple, John Conti.
All right, Jammers fans, now coming up to that, the third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
That'll bring Chris Estrada to the plate for the Jammers. Chris Estrada, leading RBI guy during the regular season for Anthony Barone's team. And Chris Estrada here in the postseason, one of the leading offensive producers as well for the Jammers. Runner at third, nobody out the pitch. High outside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Around the outfield for the Diamond Dogs, it's Tim Zeng in left, Ben Porter in center, Austin Pollock in right. Give you the infield in a moment, 1-0 pitch. That one's high, ball 2, and the count 2-0. Around the infield, it is Dan Dealey at third, Alexis Monge Rodriguez at short, Joe Engel at second, Russ Olive down at first, Clay Konieski is behind the plate, and it is number 19, Doug Molnar on the hill, and his next pitch to Estrada missed, and the count is 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Conti at third, nobody out. 1-0 Mohawk Valley leads. 3-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner. Count now 3-1. Almost a given. When you're in that situation, if you're somewhere close, you generally get the call. And that was close. In the postseason, Chris Estrada hitting .333, 5 for 15, 3 runs scored, 1 double, and a couple RBIs. The next pitch is strike 2 called, and the count now full at 3-2. Now, Conti, before he hit the triple, saw a 3-2 count and then teed off on one thrown in by Molnar. Let's see if Chris Estrada can do the same thing. Here's the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Runners at first and third, nobody out. Chris Conley hitting third tonight will come to the plate.
Now up the bat, the DH number 17, Chris Conley.
Chris Conley stepping in to face Doug Molnar. In the regular season, Chris Conley hit .382 in 41 games, scored 43 runs in the playoffs. That includes all of our postseason games. Chris Conley is hitting a .67 in 4 games, 2 for 12. He does have 7 walks in the postseason. And the first pitch to him misses ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Estrada at first, Conti at third. John had a leadoff triple. Chris Estrada just walked. Jammers trail 1-0. 1-0 the count to Conley. Molnar's 1-0 pitch popped up and playable. Third baseman Dealey in foul territory drifts over and makes the catch. And Chris Conley pops out, and his postseason woes continue. That'll bring up Ben Brookover.
The first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover.
And that'll bring up Ben Brookover. Ben in the regular season hit .328. He's hitting .250 here in the postseason. 4 for 16 with a run scored, a double, and a couple of RBIs for Ben in the 2017 playoff stretch. That includes the games against Onondaga, Elmira, and Mohawk last night. Runners still at the corners and 1 out now. First pitch to Brookover, strike 1 taken by Ben. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out and 2 on. Jammers really need to answer that solo homer hit by Konieski there back in the top half of this inning. 0-1 the count, Molnar's pitch. Misses way outside, and the count's even at 1-1. Molnar in 2017 for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, 2-0 with a 1.71 ERA. Appeared in 6 games, started 3, 21 innings pitched. 1-1 pitch, outside corner. Count now 1-2. And now Ben will have to take up an offensive stance there at the plate. Try to get that run in from third. In the 21 innings, that is, that Molnar appeared, he did walk just 1, which makes that walk by Estrada really big. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Shortstop goes to angle for 1 over the first. The throw's in the dirt, and it ends up over at the Diamond Dogs dugout. Fielder's choice. Ben Brookover hits into that and picks up an RBI. We're tied at 1. John Conti comes in to score.
The center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine.
2 out now for Skylar Valentine. Another one of the stalwarts of this team that is having himself a tough postseason. Skylar Valentine in the regular season hit .333. He's hitting .059 in the postseason. That is 1 for 17, a couple of runs scored. He hit a triple, picked up 3 RBIs, and the first pitch to him from Molnar is ball 1.
Good.
1-0 count. This one's fouled back over the press box, and the count evens up at 1-1 to Skylar Valentine. One ball, 1 strike. Runner at first, Brookover, and 2 out. One pitch. Skylar reaches out and slaps that one foul back over the press box. Count now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Skylar Valentine trying to keep the inning going. Doug Molnar ready with the 1-2 pitch. Comes set at the belt. Valentine watches ball 2. The count now even at 2-2 on Skylar Valentine. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. A solo homer by catcher Clay Konieski of the Diamond Dogs. And here the Jammers manufacture one. Hit up the middle. Enough time for the shortstop to get over. Monge Rodriguez throws to first and gets Valentine barely. Skylar Valentine hit one up the middle, just not enough on it to get it by Monge Rodriguez. Ranges in behind the bag at second base and throws out Skylar Valentine for the final out for the Jammers here in the bottom of the first. But the Jammers do bring a run across. They did that on one hit. There were no Diamond Dogs errors, and there was one runner left on base. At the end of one, we're tied. It is Jammers 1, Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Top of the second inning, and it'll be numbers 5, 6, and 7 due up against Corey Blessing. For the Diamond Dogs, it'll be Ben Porter, Austin Pollock, and Dan Dealey to face Corey Blessing. Ben Porter is the center fielder, and Ben in last night's game was 1 for 4, scored a run, hit a triple, picked up 3 RBIs, bases clearing triple last night. That was the dagger that kind of stuck in the heart of the Jammers throughout the rest of the game. First pitched by Blessing, squaring to bunt, popping it up, Cross giving chase, and it hits dead center in that cutoff circle that is beyond the home plate circle down the first base line. And Matt Cross just unable to get to it. Strike one. No balls and a strike to Ben Porter. Ben Porter for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. 5'10", $170 from Newton, attending Columbia. Just finished up his sophomore year there. That pitch is outside in the dirt, and the count evens up at 1-1. Unique delivery by Corey Blessing, as he has that catapult-type motion where he reaches way back and brings the ball to home plate. Ground ball down to third. Off the chest of Chris Estrada. Can't get to it and barehanded and still try to get a throw. See how the official scorer puts that one up.
Now off the bat, the right fielder, number 6, Austin Pollock.
Austin Pollock will step to the plate. And it ends up being called an error to Chris Estrada on a one-hopper that came up to his chest. So Porter down at first, nobody out. And at the plate, Austin Pollock. 1-1, we're tied, top of the second. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Pollock, the right-handed hitting right fielder. Righty on the hill is Corey Blessing. Pollock last night was 2 for 4 with a run scored. Picked up an RBI. Toss over to first, and easily back is Ben Porter. Yes, it all comes down to this. We are at the end of the 2017 season. The Jammers here in the PGCBL Championship Series, trailing 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Porter waited on the off-speed pitch from Blessing and just managed to get a piece of it and foul it off the inner thigh of Matt Cross, and he's going to take a little while to recover from that one as the count evens up at 1-1. Home plate umpire Frank McClellan hand delivers the ball to Corey Blessing and talks to him a while to give his compadre behind the plate a little time to get straightened out. Also looks into the Jammers dugout and asks for a couple of balls, and umps and catchers are always looking out for each other. Ryan Markey brings out some balls for McClellan. Just wanted 2, he got 2. Ryan brought 3 just in case. Better to have more than not enough. He checks with Matt Cross and sees if he is able to go, and he is. 1 ball, 1 strike. Everybody reset now. Number 6 for the Diamond Dogs, Austin Pollock at the plate with a 1-1 count. Runner at first is Porter. Pitch to Pollock, high in the air. Right field. Conti has to move just a bit, comes in and a little bit over toward the right field foul line and makes the catch of the pop-up off the bat of Austin Pollock for the first out here in the top of the second. 1 out, runner still down at first in Porter, and Dan Dealey will step to the plate. Dealey, the third baseman tonight, went 1 for 4 last night, hit a double, picked up a couple ribbies with that as well in 5 plate appearances. He did strike out once last night. Runner at first, 1 out. Corey Blessing ready with the first. Nope, he's going to make a throw over to first. Thought he would come to the plate, but he checks Porter back to the bag at first. Ben Porter on the season has stolen 12, was caught 3 times, leading base stealer on the team. That one over the outside corner. Strike 1 to Dan Dealey. 0-1 the count. Corey Blessing certainly pitching with confidence here in the early going of tonight's game, and that's important for the Jammers. As I said, trying to stay alive in the postseason here and force a championship game. Another toss over to first, and Porter dives back in safely. Dan Dealey at the plate, 6'1", 205 from Sonoma, California, attending Sacramento State. Wrapped up his junior campaign there this spring. 0-1 count. Corey's not going to come to the plate. Time was called anyway by Dan Dealey at the plate, and home plate umpire Frank McClellan had called time. Toss went over to first. All of those things were followed through on. No balls, 1 strike. Ben Porter with the lead off first. That one's fouled back by Dealey, and now Blessing is ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. Tale of 2 outings last night as the ERA for the Diamond Dogs at 1 in last night's game, and the Jammers pitching staff ERA, which saw 3 pitchers out there, Meza, Gilhouse, and Hunt. Not in that order, but the ERA for the Jammers at 11.25 for the team with the best ERA in the league. 0-2 the count, 1 out, runner at first, Porter. Corey Blessing with the 0-2, way high and outside, and the count now 1-2. We're in the top half of the second inning in a game tied at 1. In a do-or-die for the Jammers. If the Dogs would happen to lose, there would still be life for them. Way outside, ball 2. Counts even at 2, and the Jammers really trying to figure out what Porter's going to be doing down at first as Cross set up almost in the left-hander's batter's box. Dealey, a right-handed hitter. 2-2 count. Corey's pitch. Ooh. Almost got him swinging. He just got a piece of it and fouled it back to the home plate grandstand netting. Count remains even at 2 on Dan Dealey. Still no indication that Porter's in any kind of a situation where he's going to take off. Pretty standard lead off the bag at first. 2-2 pitch again's popped up and out of play, and the count's still at 2-2. If nothing else, Dealey starting to work up the pitching count of Corey Blessing up to 31 pitches here in the second. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat for Dan Dealey. Ben Porter reached on an error to Chris Estrada. 2-2 count, the pitch. Ground ball toward the hole between first and second. Over for it. Burnick throws to Brookover and gets. Dan Dealey. Porter moves up to second base. Kind of like a sacrifice bunt, but not totally. As Dealey was going for a hit in the hole there between first and second and snuffed out by Nick Burnick at second base. 2 gone, runner at second, Porter, and it brings up the DH, Lucas Terwilliger. Terwilliger last night was 1 for 4. Lucas Terwilliger, 6'1", $195, from Elmira, attending Adelphi. Finished up his sophomore year there this spring. First pitch to him, spot up and out of play. Strike 1. As I said to Austin Alonge, who provided color commentary in last night's broadcast, it sounds like a name of a character from a Twilight Zone episode. Seeing that he comes from Elmira and Ithaca not that far away, Rod Serling probably knew some Terwilligers somewhere along the way. That pitch is in the dirt, bounces away from Matt Cross. Plenty of time for Porter to move up to third. Runner at third, 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Terwilliger. Becomes really incumbent upon Corey Blessing to knuckle down now. Nothing you can do about Porter at third. You want to keep the ball from getting away from Matt Cross. So it's all up to you, Corey. 1-1 count, the pitch. High in the air, foul down the right field line. Conti gives chase over near the bullpen and reaches out and tries to get it. And hit right at his armpit on the top of the rail, the fencing, and that marks the field of play. Rolled in on his shoulder, got up, popped up, and went right over top of that fencing and right out into right field. That's what you call some resilience there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at third, Porter, 2 out for the Diamond Dogs. 1-1 tie, top of the second. Corey Blessing with a 1-2 pitch, way high and outside, and the count now is even at 2 on Terwilliger. Terwilliger sounds like either a lawyer's name in the Twilight Zone or maybe a salesman. 2-2 count, 2 out, the pitch. Strike 3 called right down the pipe, taken by Lucas Terwilliger, and he is called out for the final out here in the top of the second inning. No runs, no hits, a Jammers error, and a runner left. At the end of 1.5, the score, Jammers 1, Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back for the bottom half of the second inning of this must-win game for the Jammers. If the Dogs win it, they are the PGCBL champions. We're tied at 1, headed to the bottom of the second, and it will be numbers 6, 7, and 8 due up to face Doug Molnar. Molnar, 5'11", 210 from Toms River, New Jersey. He's a Wagner Seahawk. Just finished up a sophomore year. There's one hit deep to left center field. What a running catch by Ben Porter. That was bound for extra bases, and Porter caught it. Now there's a discussion as to whether Porter actually had it. Certainly from up here, it looked as though it was a clean catch by Porter. O'Donnell is claiming that it was in and he's safe, and he will not leave the bag at second. And now two of the bases umpires, the one at second base and one at third, get together and talk it over. And now home plate umpire Frank McClellan moves out, and also coming in first base umpire Dustin Ragsdale. All four of the umps in tonight's game. Frank McClellan behind the plate, Dustin Ragsdale at first, Rick Elrod at second, and Bill Stanley at third tonight, umpiring this game. All get together, and I'm not exactly sure how that was even dropped by Porter, but they're going to continue to discuss it there, right in front of the second base bag, away from Alex O'Donnell and the Diamond Dogs, by the way, dressed in their road black uniforms, with dogs across the front in script in green, trimmed in white. White numbers on the front and back, and O'Donnell is out. That's the final ruling there, and O'Donnell's going to have one more word with Elrod out at second base before he returns to the Jammers dugout. Fly ball out for Alex O'Donnell. One gone. And it brings up Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy in last night's game, 1 for 4. 4 plate appearances for him in the first pitch by Molnar after all of the hijinks after that catch in the gap by Porter is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Standahar grounds one. In the hole between first and second, first baseman Olive Fields makes the underhand toss to Molnar at the bag at first base, and they get Standahar for the second out here in the Jammers half of the second. 2 up, 2 down.
Now up to bat, the catcher number 21, Matt Cross.
Matt Cross at the plate for the Jammers. First pitch to him, over the outside corner, strike 1 called. No balls and 1 strike. 2 out and nobody aboard. Matt Cross did get into the game last night. Did have 1 at bat. Went 0 for 1. Hits a line drive to Ward left. Coming in and making the catch, Tim Zhang in left field. Jammers getting good wood on the ball, but a lot of Adam balls, even though that one was run down by Porter for sure. That time, that was right at him to Tim Zhang. 3 up, 3 down for the Jammers. No runs, hits, no errors for the Diamond Dogs. Nobody left. At the end of 2, we're tied. Jammers 1, Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas. 1 in 300 million. The odds of a daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland, spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts. 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 7 Grammy Awards. 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records. 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism. 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. I'm Dave Shannon. Happy you could join us tonight in any number of different ways. One on WWCB Radio in Corey, also on WWCB Radio Stream 2 with their internet feed. Also available on TuneIn Radio. Make sure you download the app. And, of course, Jamestown Jammers is the way you get to us on TuneIn Radio. You can also watch the game at YouTube tonight. I'd like to thank the folks who are tuned in there as well. It'll be numbers 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Diamond Dogs here in the top of the third inning. Joe Engel, Alexis Monge Rodriguez, and Tim Zeng. Last night, Joe Engel went 1 for 3, scored 2 runs. He did walk and strike out once in the game. Corey Blessing into his third inning of work now. And Hayden Carter comes out of the dugout and pulls John Conti in a little bit in right. First pitch over the inside corner, strike one called. Jammers pitchers have really been working the inside corners much better here in the postseason, getting a lot of calls. 0-1 pitch. Missed that outside corner, and the count evens up at 1-1 on Joe Engel. Joe Engel, the second baseman tonight, 5'11", $160 from Downers Grove, Illinois, attending Columbia. Finished up his sophomore year there this spring, and the off-speed pitch by Blessing over the middle of the plate, but low. And the count goes to 2-1. No chase by Engel. Engel, the leadoff batter, in the 2-1 pitch. Popped up. Jimmy Standahar over toward left center. Will make the catch of the pop-up off the bat of Joe Engel, and that is out number 1. Pop fly out by Engel. Back around to the top of the order.
Alexis Monge Rodriguez.
Alexis Monge Rodriguez will step to the plate. He's had a chance to see Corey Blessing and his unique delivery. We'll see what he does this time around. He was a strikeout victim swinging on a 2-2 pitch back in the first inning. 1 out, nobody aboard. Corey's first pitch misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Monge Rodriguez in the regular season hit .269, appeared in 35 games, started 30. 1-0 pitch. Line drive, left field, coming in Standahar. He'll make the catch of that one. Jimmy's busy out left.
Now off the bat, the left fielder, number 13, Tim Zeng.
2 up, 2 down. And Tim Zeng will step to the plate for his second trip tonight. We're in the top of the third, tied at 1. Tim Zeng popped out to Alex O'Donnell in shallow center field, that is, for the second out of the first inning. The first pitch to him is high, seriously high. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Corey Blessing's 1-0 pitch. Hit in the air toward left field. Jimmy Standahar, all he has to do is back up 3 steps, and he makes all 3 outs there in left field in the inning. No runs, no hits, no Jammers errors, nobody left. The score at the end of 2.5, it's the Jammers 1, the Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. Jamestown Jammers, Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Game 2, that is, of a best-of-3 championship series. Dogs are up 1-0. We're tied at 1. We're in the bottom of the third. Nick Bernick will lead things off. First pitch to Nick is fouled back, strike 1. Third baseman Dan Dealey in on the grass at third. We'll see if he stays there after he sees Bernick swinging away. Trying to figure out if that might have been a deke on the first pitch by Molnar. 0-1 pitch. Swinging away again. Down the right field line, just foul. Got the attention of first base umpire Dustin Ragsdale as he straddles the line down there. And he had to jut out of the way of that one off the bat of Nick Bernick. The count is 0-2. As we mentioned, Nick last night, leading hitter on the team, going 2 for 3 and scoring a run last night, the only run the Jammers got. 0-2 pitch, misses high, and the count now 1-2. Nick Bernick overall in the postseason is having a pretty darn good one. Hit .205 in the regular season, .333 in the playoffs. Outside corner, Nick is caught looking. Strike 3 called. 1 gone in the Jammers' half of the third, and right fielder John Conti, the hero of the first inning, and what an effort out there in the field as he tried to catch a ball in foul territory by the bullpen of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Stretched out right over his armpit, tumbled into the bullpen area, popped up, jumped over the fence, and right back into right field. Off-speed pitch from Molnar, a swing and a miss by Conti, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, nobody aboard, 1 out. Bottom of the third in a 1-1 tie. Conti squared the bunt, pulled back and watched. Ball 1. Counts even at 1. Dealey is kind of expecting that. He's well off the line at third. 1-1 pitch. High outside, ball 2. Count 2-1. John Conti of the Jamestown Jammers, 6'1", $176 from Niagara Falls, New York. Attending Canisius hits it high, deep to right field. He's going to get the run for a while. It hits at the base of the wall, picked up by Austin Pollock, and he pulls into second base standing up. Back-to-back extra base hits, a triple and a double now for John Conti.
All right, Jammers fans, now up to bat, the third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
They'll bring up third baseman Chris Estrada, who walked back in the first inning. Was forced out at second for the second out of the inning on a ground ball by Ben Brookover, but that allowed Conti to score and knotted things up at 1. We're still there. It's in the bottom of the third. Doug Molnar of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs looks back at Conti and delivers the first off-speed pitch to Estrada over the outside corner, strike 1. Molnar is decidedly first pitch slow here in the third inning. A 1 count. That pitch is low, and the count is even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Conti at second. Pretty standard lead off the bag at second as these situations go. 1-1 the count, and the pitch to Chris. Lofted in the air toward right. Conti's going to go back and tag the bag at second, and he's going to go for third. Still running. It's over the head of the third baseman. Backing up was Molnar. He is able to catch that throw in from right fielder Austin Pollock. So Conti does move up, and not becoming a spectator, Molnar was in the right place at the right time to keep another Jammers run from scoring. Count that as a sac fly then for Chris Estrada, moving Conti up. And it brings up Chris Conley. Chris popped out in foul territory to third baseman Dealey for the first out of the first inning. First pitch to him here is ball 1, the count 1-0. a guy that this team has relied on in 2017, having a slow start to his postseason. The 1-0 pitch grounds one foul between Hayden Carter and the fencing, marking the perimeter of the field of play. Counts even a 1-1 on Conley. John Conti doubled with one out. Moved to third on a sac fly by Estrada. Now Conley at the plate with 2 out. And a 1-1 count on him. Molnar's 1-1. Hit in the air, that's going to fall. That is a base hit and an RBI for Chris Conley. The Jammers take a 2-1 lead.
Have scored to take the lead. Now come up to bat, the first baseman, number 30,
As I give Conley an RBI, I give him an attaboy as well. Good to see Chris deliver in that situation. The Jammers lead the game 2-1, and Ben Brookover will step to the plate to face Doug Molnar. Ben hit one up the middle, turned into a fielder's choice as Monge Rodriguez was able to field that and go to second baseman Engel. Engel could not complete a double play, so Ben was down there at first. First pitch to him, a ball, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Conley at first, 2 out. The pitch. High, outside, ball 2. Count 2-0. Ben Brookover, in case you don't know, a junior at University of Texas San Antonio. He is from San Antonio. Great family. Always enjoy talking to his dad when he's able to come up here and watch his son play. This one's popped up. Is it playable? Olive is going to watch that one drift into the first base bleachers for a strike. Count is now 2-1 on Ben. Two-1 Jammers lead. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Welcome to Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park. No matter what medium you may be choosing to join us on. Standard AM broadcast, YouTube, audio and the internet. You'll now know it's ball 3. Count 3-1 on Brookover. Ben in the driver's seat here and probably has the green light to go ahead and take a cut if he sees a good pitch from Molnar. That's the question. Will it be a good one? 3-1. And that one was at bare minimum over the outside corner, if not shading over toward the middle of the plate, and called strike 2. The count's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High drama now. Full count on Ben. Conley at first. A run in the inning for the Jammers. Payoff pitch. Misses outside, low, ball 4. Ben down at first on a walk. Conley moves up to second. Can the Jammers resume their form of earlier in the season? And what I mean by that is the Jammers were able to do this in many games where they get 2 out and it looked like the inning was pretty well over, and then they just come roaring back and end up scoring maybe 3 or 4 in an inning. It's up to Skylar Valentine to keep it going. Headed down to the bullpen for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs is Crandall Poor. 6 foot, $185, and he'll begin warming up down there with alternative catcher Tom Moore. And now, after a chat between catcher Koneski and the pitcher Molnar, Blake Nation makes his way out to the mound. I don't know, he ought to get some t-shirts printed up. Something about Fear the Beard. Blake Nation is a big man. And I mean a fit big man who should be playing football. Go away. He could be playing a number of different sports. He has chosen baseball as his sport of choice. Done a fine job. Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs had a rough end of their season. Ended up the 3rd seed in the PGCBL East. Won the one-and-done playoff game. And then 2 in a row off of Amsterdam, the top team in the league. That's why the Jammers would get 2 games here if they can win this one here tonight. First pitch to Valentine, a ball. This one's hit high in the air, deep to left center field. It's going to be caught by the left fielder. No, Zeng dropped it. It rolls along the fence. Valentine's on his way to third. He slides. He gets in. The ball gets away from the third baseman. Valentine got up and started toward home, but Dealey was able to get the ball in foul territory. I thought Zeng had that one with no problem, and he was unable to hold on. And with that hit that deep, Conley and Brookover were rolling around the bases with 2 out. Yep, a little 2-out lightning. Skylar Valentine at third base with 2 out, and the Jammers up 4-1. Lesson to be learned there by me. Not rooting for the Diamond Dogs. It just looked like Zeng had a bead on that, had his glove out. I think it hit in his glove and then popped right out of it. First pitch to Alex O'Donnell's over the outside corner, strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch, ground ball right at second baseman Joe Engel. He's up with it and over to Russ Olive to retire the side. But the Jamestown Jammers with 2 outs score 2 more, a total of 3 in the inning. A crooked number, and that's a good thing. 3 runs for the Jammers, and they did that on 3 hits. No Mohawk Valley errors and a runner left. We have completed 3. The score, Jammers 4. Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
What is that?
Oh, it's my time machine.
Does it work?
Sure, just hit. Or we can go here.
Hey, that's Napoleon.
Oui.
Or we can go to the future.
But the saving thing is, get in the habit of putting some of your money in savings each week through a 401k, savings account, or financial investments. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy tips on saving, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
What does this crazy little button do?
Wait, no!
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Skylar Valentine's deep fly ball to left center field has been ruled a bases clearing triple. Picks up a couple of RBIs on that. And the Jammers in all in the bottom half of the third brought in 3 to take a 4-1 lead. Corey Blessing has to be feeling good about that. We'll see what happens with the pitching for the Diamond Dogs when the bottom half of this 4th inning comes up. Molnar so far has thrown 50, 29 strikes and 21 balls. Corey Blessing starting this inning has thrown 45, 28 strikes, 17 balls, make it 29 strikes. Konieski, who hit a solo homer against him back in the first inning, takes strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Clay Konieski, the leadoff batter here in the top of the 4th. 0-1 pitch outside corner, strike 2. Konieski hit that solo homer on a 3-1 pitch back in the first inning. He's behind here, no balls, 2 strikes. Corey Blessing with the 0-2 pitch. Matt Cross set up and Falconer. That's how far he was off the plate. Jeez. It's ball 1 and the count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Down the middle of the plate, but in the dirt, and the count evens up now at 2-2. It's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of the when you're up 0-2, throwing a pitch that you may think a batter's going to fish for, and especially when Cross set up that far outside. Just go after him. Counts now even at 2 in the pitch. Right down the pipe, a little bit high, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Corey Blessing dialing up the payoff pitch. This one's hit out of the park for sure, but it's way foul. That's in the large pine trees between us and the dormitories on the Jamestown Community College campus. Wow. Konieski obviously enjoyed a 5-hour trip from Little Falls to Jamestown. He is just knocking the cover off the ball here. Another payoff pitch by Corey. High in the air, not very deep though. This one's to right field, and John Conti will make the catch of that. Chased the outside pitch and popped out to the right fielder, did Clay Konieski. And that'll bring up first baseman Russ Olive, the most dangerous hitter in the batting order for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, and I base that on his regular season average of .324. Team leader. Line drive. That'll fall in front of Skylar Valentine. Could not get in quickly enough to do that, so Russ Olive lives up to his reputation, singles to center. Runner at first, 1 out. Center fielder Ben Porter will step to the plate for a second trip. Reached on an error charge to Chris Estrada, the only error in tonight's game. 4 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Jammers. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Porter reached on that error, made it to third. They could not get him in back in the second inning. Ground ball down the third baseline, foul between Lake Nation and the Jammers dugout. Strike 1. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting center fielder Ben Porter. Porter with a nice play in the field on a deep shot off the bat of Alex O'Donnell. Now at the plate with a runner at first in Olive. 0-1 pitch. In the dirt. Did he go? No. They do appeal. It's ball 1. Counts even at 1. Here's another nice thing about having this many umpires. Even if you had 3, this deal of looking at a check swing and determining if a batter goes through, you need 1 down each foul line to make that a fair call when you do appeal. Way outside that time from Corey, and the count now 2-1. And you have to imagine that Ben Porter is at the plate in a situation that he's seen a couple of times this year. Russ Olive at first. Russ does not have that big of a lead. Porter, the base-stealing threat. He's at the plate. The 2-1 pitch popped up. Shallow right, coming in Conti. And he'll make the catch for out number 2. Johns retired both Diamond Dogs outs here in the bottom. Make that the top half of the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Austin Pollock, the right fielder of the Diamond Dogs. Pollock in his first at-bat did hit a fly ball out to John Conti for the first out of the second inning. 2 out now, runner at first, Olive. Picked up the second hit of the night for the Diamond Dogs. A bit of an ephus pitch from Corey Blessing is ball 1. I don't know how with his windup that he's able to even get one to go that slow. 1 ball, no strikes. That pitch is grounded down to Ben Brookover and tries to backhand it, and it ends up in right field. Here comes Conti. Nope, he's not going to throw for Olive. Olive will get the throw. Will get the third, rather, and the throw back to first to Ben Brookover. Pollock had turned the bag pretty wide at first, and he did just manage to dive back in safely. Second error of the night. This one charged to Ben Brookover. Tried to backhand it, got his glove on it, could not control it. That may get changed before the game's over. We'll see. First and third now with 2 out. Dan Dealey at the plate. His second time up. Grounded out to Bernick on a slow roller in the hole between first and second for the second out of the second inning. 2 out here. Corey's first pitch is fouled back by Dealey. Strike 1. Corey coming with heat on the first pitch. Have not seen Crandall Poor step to the mound there in the Dogs bullpen during the course of this inning, so it would appear as though Molnar will go back out for the bottom of the fourth, and at least he's out there and ready to go. Ground ball up the middle over for O'Donnell. The short route to Nick Bernick retires Austin Pollock and the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, who get no runs on a hit. There was a Jammers error and 2 runners left on base. The score at the end of 3.5 is the Jammers 4 and the Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to do is turn onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue.
just broke up
and go past the first 3 lights
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
then
think
drive 5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. Jamestown Jammers taking on the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, as the Jammers in the bottom of the fourth will send up the bottom third of the order, Standahar, Cross, and Bernick. And out there on the hill, it's Molnar. Starting the fourth, and the first pitch is inside and low to Jimmy Standahar, ball 1. Jimmy with almost a check swing there on a 1-0 pitch, grounded out to first baseman Olive. Hits this one high and deep to left field. Left fielder going back. It's over his head. It bounces off the wall. Standahar has the play right in front of him, and he'll stop at second base. Leadoff double, Jimmy Standahar. Jammers have been teeing off on Molnar, and we're going to be interested to see how long Blake Nation will keep Molnar out on the hill. He's out of the dugout. Walking with a purpose toward the mound, and we'll see if Crandall Poor will come into the game, and yes, indeed he will. Nation has made the call to the bullpen. So bring into the game Crandall Poor. Poor wears number 21. I'm sorry, number 22. Crandall Poor. Jimmy Standahar at second and nobody out. Try to get you some final numbers for tonight's starter for the Diamond Dogs, Doug Molnar. And try to get you some numbers for Crandall Pool on the season. Poor, that is. Sorry, Crandall. Molnar goes 3+, faced 16 batters, 4 runs, 5 hits, walked 2, struck out 1, 52 pitches, 30 strikes, and 22 balls. And Crandall Poor comes into the game. Crandall Poor in 2017 for the Diamond Dogs went 2-4 with a 4.23 ERA. Appeared in 11 games, started 6 of those, went 44 2/3. Gave up 28 runs, 21 of those earned, 43 hits, walked 21, but he struck out 39. Opponents averaged 246 with a righty on the hill, Crandall Poor. Poor 6 foot, $180 from Gray, attending Middle Georgia State. Just wrapped up his junior year there this spring. And he is definitely in the strike zone, and Matt Cross is going to be the first guy to face him. Jamestown Jammers with a good crowd on hand tonight, leading the game by a score of 4-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Long ways to go in this one. But should the Jammers be able to hold on and win tonight's game, they would then have an all-or-nothing Game 3. You win tomorrow and you're the champs. You lose and, well, you were your division champ for the year. Guess that's the difference between having 3 pennants for the Jammers, or in the case of the Diamond Dogs, they get 2 pennants because they did win the first round of the East playoffs in a one-and-done, and then won the East Division championship in the playoffs, taking out Amsterdam 2-0. Matt Cross at the plate, and the first pitch is high and outside, and it's ball 1. Matt Cross, the right-handed hitting catcher at the plate for a second appearance, hit a line drive, but unfortunately right at Tim Zeng for the final out of the second. 1-0 the count here. 1-0 pitch. Ripped back to the home plate grandstand netting, and the count's even now at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Standahar at second and nobody out. Jammers half of the 4th in a 4-1 game. The Jammers with the lead. 1-1 the count, and Poor's pitch. High chopper toward the shortstop, has to wait for it to come down out of the air. A little snow cone action in the glove, but Alexis Monge Rodriguez keeps it under control and makes the throw over to get Matt Cross. It does move Jimmy Standahar up to third. Runner at third and 1 out for Nick Bernick. We'd outlined Nick's postseason exploits, having an outstanding postseason. Lake Nation's assistant, Steve Luby, is out of the dugout, adjusting the outfielders, bringing everybody in except left fielder Tim Zeng. First pitch is outside in the dirt, and a good block by Konieski. Keeps it in front of him, and no advance by Standahar at third. 1 ball, no strikes to Nick Bernick. Nick doing an outstanding job in the field and at the plate here in the postseason. Next pitch is fouled off over the first base bleachers, and the count's even on Nick now at 1-1. Third baseman Dan Dealey goes over and talks to Jimmy Standahar and walks straight out from there, and now comes in at the edge of the grass at third. 1-1 the count, and the pitch to Nick hits him. Nick Bernick, hit by a pitch for the second time in this series against the Diamond Dogs, is now down at first base. Doing what Nick has been able to do in the postseason, and that's get on base. What a game for this guy, huh? John Conte started the Jammers' offensive charge with a triple back in the first inning. He then doubled in his next at-bat in the third. Picked up an RBI on that double and eventually came around to score himself. He scored 2 of the Jammers' 4 runs in tonight's game. First time he gets to see Poor. 1 out, runners at the corners. First pitch fouled back by John, strike 1. No balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting right fielder of the Jammers. John Conte with the speed. There's speed on the base paths right now, too. You got Standahar at third and Bernick down at first. 0-1 count to John Conte. A 1 pitch in the dirt, and a good job by Konieski. Count is now even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jammers trying to lengthen their lead, up 4-1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Scored a single run in the first, 3 last inning. That one's over the outside corner. John takes strike 2. And the count now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Dealey just touching that grass there at third. John Conti needs some chalk for his cue stick. Right off the end of the bat and back to the home plate grandstand, and the count remains 1-2. Really a nice night for baseball. No wind here at the ballpark. There was a little bit of rain earlier in the day, but nothing this evening. 1-2 count in the pitch. Way outside and high, and the count's even at 2 on John Conti. Well, the Jammers don't have to worry about being out on the road anymore in 2017. The next game would be here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. This one's lofted toward left field, charging in, and not getting the ball is Tim Zhang. Standahar scores. Bernick waiting to see if Zhang was going to be able to catch it. He did not. Nick Bernick at second. John Conti with a single to left. And another RBI, and the Jammers lead at 5-1. Jammers cashing in the leadoff double by Jimmy Standahar. Conti with 2 RBIs on the night and a 3-for-3 night at the plate. Brings up Chris Estrada, who walked in the first and hit a sac fly back in the third. First pitch is over the outside corner, taken by Chris, strike 1. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting third baseman of the Jammers, Chris Estrada. Crandall poor with the 0-1 pitch, misses outside and low this time, and the count evens up at 1-1 on Chris Estrada. Interestingly enough, Nolan Hunt is stirring around there in the bullpen. No serious activity at the moment. You know how those lefties are. Next pitch to Chris Estrada, missed for ball 2 in the count, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bernick at second, Conti at first. Just 1 out. A run in the inning for the Jammers to lead at 5-1. There goes Nick Bernick. The throw down, the tag, he's out. Caught stealing, Nick Bernick. Moving up the second is John Conti. So Nick Bernick erased on the caught stealing. Good throw down. A little bit high from Konieski, but Dealey quickly got it down to tag out Bernick. Two out now with a runner at second in Conti. The pitch. Estrada pops it up. Left field. Coming over Zhang. And he'll make the catch, and that'll do it for the Jammers here in their half of the fourth. They do pick up another run, and they do that on a couple of hits. There were no errors for the Diamond Dogs, and there was 1 runner left. The score at the end of 4, Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable. A free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, Jammers and the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs in Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series game. The Jammers are up by 4, a score of 5-1. Corey Blessing heading out there for his 5th inning of work through 4, facing 16 batters, 1 run, a couple of hits. The run, a solo homer by the catcher Koye Konieski. And so far, Corey has struck out 3, walked nobody, and popping up to start the inning into shallow left field and coming in to get it is Jimmy Standahar. Lucas Terwilliger is the first out for the Diamond Dogs in their half of the 5th. Does Corey Blessing a big favor there. Corey Blessing coming into the inning had thrown 61 pitches, 39 strikes, and 22 balls. So Corey Blessing has 1 out and nobody aboard. Joe Engel, second baseman, at the plate. Estrada starts charging in, and that looked like a PGCBO outside corner, but that's not the call by home plate umpire Frank McClellan. It's ball 1, the count 1-0. That one's the PGCBO outside corner, and the count evens at 1-1. Joe Engel, a fly ball out to Jimmy Standahar for the first out of the 3rd inning. Up here again in the 5th. 1-1 pitch hits in the dirt in front of the plate by about an inch. And the count now 2-1 on Joe Engel. A run on 2 hits and no errors for the Diamond Dogs. 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Jammers. That one over the inside corner. Engel watches strike 2. Count is even at 2-2. On deck, Alexis Monge Rodriguez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch by Blessing. Ground ball, charging. Short hop by Estrada, throws in plenty of time to get Joe Engel for the 2nd out here in the top of the 5th inning. Estrada was charged an error earlier in the ball game. This time, no error there. Got down, got it, and threw out Engel. 2 up, 2 down. Shortstop Alexis Monge Rodriguez at the plate for a 3rd trip. Struck out swinging on a 2-2 pitch back in the 1st inning. And then hit a line drive out at Jimmy Standahar for the 2nd out of the 3rd. And the first pitch by Blessings over the outside corner, strike 1. No balls and a strike to Alexis Monge Rodriguez. Blessing seems to be building some strength and momentum here as the game's going along. That pitch just missed outside, and the count evens up at 1-1 on the right-handed hitting shortstop of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, Alexis Monge Rodriguez from Pembroke Pines, attending Barry. That pitch is over the outside corner, strike 2 called. Count now 1-2 on Monge Rodriguez. Alexis at 5'6", a $140. Infield at standard depth, though. Outfield is in. That pitch is in the dirt. Matt Cross tried to short hop it, and he couldn't. Counts even at 2. No harm, no foul. Nobody on base at the moment. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody aboard, 2 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Jamestown 5, Mohawk Valley 1. 2-2 count. Corey's break-even pitch, reaching out and slapping it foul, is Monge Rodriguez. Amazing that he even got the end of the bat on that ball to foul it off. Count remains even at 2. One of the Diamond Dogs goes down and retrieves the baseball. Was ready to toss it to the kids and then remembered they might be able to use that one. This one is fouled off over the press box. And Monge Rodriguez making Blessing work after Corey had a pretty easy go of it with Terwilliger and Engel. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Righty Corey Blessing to right-handed hitting Alexis Monge Rodriguez pops another one out of play over the first base bleachers. And this is a real at-bat for Monge Rodriguez as he is about to see the 9th pitch of this at-bat. As I say, adding to Corey Blessing's pitch count. Corey after that now up to 75. 2-2 the count. Blessing's break-even pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikes out Rodriguez for the second time in the game with some high heat. For the Diamond Dogs, no runs, no hits, no Jammers errors, and nobody left at the end of 4.5. The score, Jammers 5, and the Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP, we help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, Jammers taking on the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs in Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series. The Diamond Dogs up 1-0, but the Jammers up in tonight's ball game by a score of 5-1, and they're going to try to make it to a third game. Live to play another day. That's what the Jammers are up to. Up for the Jammers here in the bottom of the 5th. The number 3 hitter in the order tonight, Chris Conley, takes the first pitch over the outside corner, strike 1. Conley popped out in the first, RBI single, and he scored in the third when the Jammers brought 3 across. 0-1 pitch. Conley fouls one back in the area between the home plate grandstand and the third base bleachers, and the count is quickly 0-2 on Chris Conley. Chris with the perfect single, looping out over the second baseman angle. That one's a bit high and maybe a bit outside to Conley, and the count now 1-2. Drawing the ire of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs fans in attendance. Equal insults to both sides. This one's popped up and playable. Shortstop Monge Rodriguez out, called off by the left fielder Zeng. And he'll make the catch for the first out here in the Jammers half of the 5th. 1 up, 1 down. Ben Brookover steps to the plate for a third trip. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the first. Walked and scored in the third. Crandall Poor on the mound for the Dogs. Second pitcher of the night. First pitch to Brookover. That one misses outside in the dirt and pops away from the catcher Clay Konieski. Umpire took a quick look at it and returned the ball to play. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Ben Brookover. 1-0 pitch. Over the outside corner, taken by Ben, counts even in 1-1. And the return throw by Konieski is over the head of his pitcher. Crandall Poor. Crandall's 6 foot, tonight's starter was Doug Molnar. He was 5'11". I don't know. It's just one of those ones that got away from him, I guess. Big swing and a miss. Ben Brookover airs out the infield with that cut. And the count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There was 1 home run in the game. That was off the bat of Clay Konieski. That pitch is in the dirt and outside. The count now 2-2 on Brookover. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ben. 1 out, nobody aboard. We're in the bottom half of the 5th. The Jammers lead at 5-1. 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3, and the count full now at 3-2 on Ben Brookover. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Conley led off the inning with a fly ball out to left fielder Tim Zeng. Brookover's at the plate with a full count. Pitch by Poor, reaching out and fouling it back as Ben. Count remains full with 3-2. So now it's time for the Jammers to work out Crandall Poor a bit out there in the hill. Alexis Monge Rodriguez made Corey Blessing really work for that final out in the top of the inning. Outside, ball 4. And Skylar Valentine comes up.
Now batting for the Jammers, number 2, Skylar Valentine.
Skylar, 1 for 2 tonight. Drove in 2 with what was called a triple. Into left field, it looked like Zeng was going to catch it for the final out there in the bottom half of the 3rd. He was at the wall. It looked to hit his glove, but it popped out and ended up down at the base of the wall. And Valentine just kept running. And with 2 out, Chris Conley and Ben Brookover were on base, and they were running. They both scored. 3 in all in there in the 3rd inning. Pops this one up. Left fielder Tim Zeng comes in. He will catch this one. And that's the 2nd out for the Jammers in their half of the 5th. Ben Brookover still at first base, and Alex O'Donnell steps in.
Now up the bat, the shortstop number 1, Alex O'Donnell.
OD at the plate, robbed by Ben Porter of extra bases back in the 2nd inning. There was a dispute of the call of him being out. There's a 1 hopper thrown over to Russ Olive. He's able to handle that, and Ben Brookover is back in safely. OD also grounded out the second baseman Joe Engel for the final out of the 3rd. 2 out here, Brookover at first. Poor's first pitch almost hits OD. Ball 1, inside. Alex O'Donnell, the right-handed hitter, wearing the Jamestown Jammers home white pinstripes tonight. Jamestown Jammers in script in navy, trimmed in neon green on the front. Here's a ground ball towards second baseman Engel. He'll gobble it up and throw to Russ Olive, and that'll do it for the Jammers in their half of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Diamond Dogs, and a runner left at the end of 5. Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Back for the Diamond Dogs half of the sixth. And Corey Blessing is out there to start the sixth. Probably, if he is able to get through this inning with minimal pitches, he may come out for a seventh. So far, he has thrown 76, 49 strikes, 27 balls. And he'll be facing the numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Tim Zing, Clay Konieski, and Russ Olive. Dangerous part of this Diamond Dogs batting order here in the top of the sixth. Jammers up by 4, leading 5-1. First pitch to Zing. High, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Take a peek out the window here and see if there's anything going on in the Jammers' pen. Not at the moment. 1-0 pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. Count is 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Only 2 hits in the game for the Diamond Dogs. 2-0 pitch, ground ball. Second baseman Nick Bernick charges in, gets a belt-high hop, and throws to Ben Brook over to get Tim Zing for the first out in the Dogs' half of the sixth. One up, one down, and there were 2 hits in the game. One of them off the bat of this man, Clay Konieski, left the ballpark. That's the 1 run that the Dogs have tonight. 5-1 Jammers lead. The first pitch to him. Off-speed pitch, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody aboard, and 1 out. American flag now lifts up off the pole a bit there in center field. That pitch catches the old PGCBO outside corner, strike 1. Count even at 1-1. Corey Blessing gets a sign from Cross in the 1-1. A little bit high, and the count now 2-1. These next 2 guys, and I'm not writing Tim Zing short, but Konieski and Olive are 2 guys you don't want to make a mistake to. 2-1 count, the pitch by Corey. Tries to go with the off-speed pitch, and gravity pulled that baby right down to the ground. Ball 3. 3-1 the count. Fans now trying to get behind Corey Blessing. Three balls, 1 strike in the pitch. Lined into the first base bleachers. Nobody injured on that. The count full now at 3-2. Person in the front row ducked and was not hit. Everybody's safe down there. Somebody got a souvenir. 3-2 the count. Corey shakes off 1 pitch from Cross and takes too long for Konieski's liking, and he steps out. Back in, payoff pitch, popped up. Playable in the infield, Nick Bernick will record the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down.
Number 24, Ross Olive.
And it brings up the first baseman, Russ Olive. Two out, nobody aboard for the Diamond Dogs. Corey Blessing, first pitch to Olive. Over the inside corner, strike 1 called. No balls and a strike. Olive 1 for 2 tonight, called out on strikes on a 2-2 pitch for the final out of the first. And singled in the 4th, made it to 3rd, but got stranded there. That pitch hits about 10 inches in front of the plate. In the dirt, ball 1. Counts even at 1-1. Corey Blessing now at 87 pitches on the night. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch on its way. Line foul down the third base line by Olive. The count on that noisy strike goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Still no activity in the Jammers bullpen. One-two pitch by Corey. Line foul in the same direction. Almost the identical spot. Count remains 1-2 on Russ Olive. One of those battling hitters of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Russ Olive went 1 for 4 last night, but did score 2 runs. He did walk once. 1-2 the count, and the pitch by Corey. Ooh. Almost got him, but Russ just got a piece of it, nicked it, and fouled it back to the home plate grandstand. Count remains at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody aboard. 5-1 Jammers lead, top of the 6th, the pitch. Hit down to Ben Brookover. Ben gets it on one hop and wins the race to the bag. As a matter of fact, Olive stopped running. Unusually, he's always all in when he's out there, but no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left for the Dogs. At the end of 5.5, the score, Jammers 5, Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape? You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. Dave Shannon on the Jammers Baseball Network tonight, including WWCB Radio in Corey. Also, WWCB's Stream 2 on the internet, available with the TuneIn Radio app. Just search for Jamestown Jammers. Also available through that same way, going to the TuneIn site if you just want to listen over the internet on a laptop or a tablet. First pitch is high to Jimmy Standahar, ball 1. Also available on YouTube tonight. Quite a few folks dropping by there. Hope you're enjoying tonight's YouTube feed. That pitch is over the outside corner. The count evens at 1-1 on Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy at the plate for a third time. Grounded out, first baseman to pitcher covering. Back in the second, swings and misses at that one to make the count 1-2. Then Jimmy hit a deep fly ball to left field for a double starting off the fourth inning. Up here in the sixth, maybe he can make that happen again. Did he go around? Yes. Tried to check his swing, went around, strike 3. 1 up, 1 down. Matt Cross will come to the plate.
Now up the bat, the catcher number 21, Matt Cross.
Matt Cross will step up with nobody aboard and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Niagara County Community College product facing Crandall Poor. Poor's first pitch is outside low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to the right-handed hitting catcher of the Jammers, Matt Cross. That one's high, ball 2. Crandall Poor having trouble with the strike zone with Cross at the plate. Was able to get Jimmy Standahar on a strikeout swinging. 2-0 pitch. At the knees, and the count now at 2-1 on Matt Cross. Matt with a line drive out, the zing for the final out of the second, and grounded out the shortstop Alexis Monge Rodriguez for the first out of the fourth. Swings and misses at that Crandall Poor pitch, and the count now even at 2-2. So Poor, after falling behind, 2 balls and no strikes, has evened it up against Matt Cross. And here is the break even. Getting a piece of it and fouling it back to the home plate grandstand is Matt. Count remains at 2-2. Tomorrow night, if there is a Game 3, would start at 7:05 here at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park. This one yet TBD. 5-1 Jammers lead. Check swing by Cross. No, he did not go. First base umpire agrees with Frank McClellan. Dustin Ragsdale gives us the big safe sign down there on the first base line. And the count is full now on Matt Cross at 3-2. Waiting for Matt to yank one out of this ballpark. 3-2 pitch, and he pops that one up and out of play. Count still full with 3-2. I know he can. I've watched him do it. Just has yet to get the pitch to drive in this season. Fouls back another one. Right off the facade of the press box. Count remains full with 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody aboard. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning in Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series between the Jammers and the Diamond Dogs. Payoff pitch. Popped up. Right fielder Austin Pollock backs up about 4 steps and makes the catch of the pop-up off the bat of Matt Cross for the second out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now up the bat, the second baseman, number 13, Nick Burnick.
Nick Burnick steps to the plate. And Nick Burnick tonight is 0 for 1. As in his first at-bat, he was called out on strikes for the first out of the 3rd, then hit by a pitch in the 4th. And eventually was caught stealing for second out of the inning. And the first pitch to him is fouled back by Nick, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Nick, of course, played for the Adirondack Trailblazers a season ago over in Boonville, New York. 0-1 the count on him here, and the pitch by Poor. Misses well outside, and the count's even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 2 out for the Jammers. Bottom of the 6th. Jammers up 5-1. 1-1 pitch to Nick. Big cut and a miss. And the count now 1-2. Nick Burnick, as we had detailed for you, one of the hotter Jammers here in the postseason. Trying to reach here with 2 out. That pitch is outside in the dirt, and the count now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Nobody aboard. Nick hitting .333 coming into tonight's game in the postseason. That includes the games against Elmira and Onondaga. This is outside again, does Crandall Poor, and the count now full with 3-2. Mohawk Valley fans in attendance disagree. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count, and the pitch. Ground ball in the hole between short and third. Over to backhanded is Monge Rodriguez. What a throw over to first. Burnick is not a slow guy going down the line, and Monge Rodriguez gets him by a couple of steps. No runs, no hits, no errors. And nobody left on base here in the bottom half of the 6th. We have completed 6. The Jammers lead the game. Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and
pour me out. This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Headed to the top half of the 7th inning, the Jamestown Jammers and the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. It is 5-1 Jammers in Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series game. Mohawk Valley leads 1-0. Center fielder Ben Porter at the plate hits one high and deep to left center field. Jimmy Standahar back. It's over his head and hits at the base of the wall. Pulling up into second base, center fielder Ben Porter, leadoff double for the Diamond Dogs here in the top of the 7th inning. Third hit of the game comes here in the 7th off of Corey Blessing. And as both Anthony Barone and Hayden Carter indicated in the pregame show, this is an all-hands-on-deck mentality. And the Jammers do have Colin Johnston up and loosening in the Jammers bullpen. Nobody out, runner at second. And Corey Blessing has now thrown 92, 59 strikes, 33 balls on the night. Facing 23 batters, just 3 hits given up. One of those a solo homer, the lone tally so far in the game for the Diamond Dogs. Corey Blessing looks back at Ben Porter at second base. And right fielder Austin Pollock steps in. 0 for 2 tonight. Fly ball out to Conti in the second. Reached on an error charge to Ben Brookover in the fourth. And the first pitch is over the PGCBL outside corner. Strike one. No balls, 1 strike. Corey Blessing would probably like to finish the 7th, but we'll see how it goes. Off speed pitch over the outside corner. Strike 2 called. Jammers fans approve. Diamond Dogs fans disagree. That's baseball. Counted 0-2 on Pollock. Right-handed hitter. The righty on the hill is Corey Blessing. The runner at second base is Ben Porter. Nobody out. We're in the top of the 7th. Time called by Pollock as Corey Blessing takes too long. Cross and Blessing had probably changed up the signs with a runner at second base in Ben Porter. 0-2 count. See if Corey can get Porter here. Or Pollock, rather. Inside up on the shoulder of Austin Pollock. Hit by a pitch on an 0-2 delivery by Blessing. 2 on, nobody out. Dan Dealey steps up. Dealey on the night 0 for 2. Grounded out to Nick Bernick, second out of the second. Grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 4th. Dealey will go halfway down the line and meet up with Blake Nation, head coach of the Diamond Dogs. Threatening to make something happen here in their half of the 7th inning. Cross back behind the plate. And Dan Dealey steps in. Inning started with Porter's double to left center field. Pollock was then hit by a pitch. And now the runners come in off the bases to meet with Blake Nation and Dan Dealey. Anthony Barone out on the mound to talk to Corey Blessing, trying to assess where he is physically and mentally here in the top half of the 7th. The Jammers up by 4, 5-1. Dealey could be somebody that you could double here. Be the best solution to the current dilemma faced by Corey Blessing. Dealey on the season, a 191 hitter. Appeared in 41 games, 38 as a starter, won 27 for 141. Started 38 games at third base. Started 1 at first base. 5-1 Jammers lead. Corner infielders in, and the first pitch is swung on by Dealey and fouled over toward the Jammers dugout. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. Big turning point in tonight's game. Jammers with a 5-1 lead. Corey Blessing from the stretch comes set. The 0-1. Bunted out in front of the plate. Corey's going to take the shore out at first, throwing out Dealey. Both runners move up. One gone. Nice sacrifice bunt by Dealey. Second and third with one out. And Anthony Barone making his second trip, and that'll be all for Corey Blessing, as he'll have gone 6 1/3 tonight. Corey will head to the dugout. We'll give you some final totals on him. Colin Johnston coming in. And a well-deserved round of applause for Corey Blessing. Corey had some rough outings toward the end of the season, but came on strong here in the postseason, making this start here tonight and going 6 1/3 innings.
Now pitching for your Jammers from Monroe.
Corey faced 29 batters, gave up 1 run to this point on 3 hits. Walked nobody, struck out 4, did hit a batter. That just happened here in this top half of the 7th inning. 97 pitches, 63 strikes, 34 balls for Corey Blessing, and a job well done as he goes 6 1/3 tonight. Enter in out of the bullpen, Colin Johnston. Colin Johnston making his first postseason appearance against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs on the season. Colin Johnston for the Jamestown Jammers was 1-2 with a 1.52 ERA, appearing in 18 games, picked up 5 saves through 29 2/3, 7 runs, only 5 earned on 28 hits. He walked 11 and struck out 18. Opponents averaged 255 with Big Red, as I call him, or as the guys on the bus referred to him the other night as CJ. Lucas Terwilliger, tonight's DH, will be the first batter for Mohawk Valley to face Colin Johnston. Terwilliger on the night called out on strikes for the final out of the second and hit a pop-up to shallow left field that Jimmy Standahar caught for the first out of the 5th. 1 out here. Runners at second and third. After the warm-ups, Matt Cross comes out from behind the plate to go out on the mound and talk to Colin Johnston. What a big situation for this young man. Colin is transferring this year. Pitched 2 seasons at Monroe Community College, 6'1", 200 pounds. We, of course, heard that Colin was making a move as far as college goes in the player profile video, which is available at the YouTube site. The first pitch to Lucas Terwilliger misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. With a runner at third, you don't want to throw a wild pitch here. 1-0. Weakly grounded out in front of the plate. Johnston fields, throws to Brookover, and they get Terwilliger, and nobody is able to advance. Porter still at third. Pollock at second, 2 out. Fielding your position, such a big deal for pitchers, and Colin Johnston handled that one. Now Matt Cross goes out. Colin Johnston does not buy into the fact that perhaps Mohawk Valley brought lip readers to the game. Didn't cover his mouth up while he was talking to Cross. So a tip of the cap to CJ on that. Joe Engel at the plate for a third trip. Hit a fly ball out to Jimmy Standahar, first out of the third, and grounded out to Estrada for the second out of the 5th. First pitch right down the pipe, taken by Engel. Strike 1 called. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Diamond Dogs. 5 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for the Jammers. 0-1 the count on Engel. Johnston's pitch. Ground ball in the hole between first and second and into right field. Porter comes in to score, and Nation holds Pollock at third. Runners at the corners and 2 out. RBI single, Joe Engel. Alexis Monge Rodriguez will come to the plate with the score 5-2. Alexis on the night is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts swinging on 2-2 pitches, and a line drive out hit at Jimmy Standahar for the second out of the third. Up here in the 7th, his team trailing by 3. Chance to bring another one in and cut it to 2. First pitch is in there, strike 1 to Monge Rodriguez. On deck batter is Tim Zeng, and in the hole, Clay Konieski. No balls, 1 strike. Engel with a standard lead off the bag at first, the 0-1. Oh my. The old bended knees that time as Monge Rodriguez was mesmerized by that curveball by Colin Johnston, and the count is 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, 2 on. 1 run in the inning for the Diamond Dogs. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball right back to Johnston. Throws to Brookover. They get Monge Rodriguez and retire the side. For the Diamond Dogs in their half of the 7th, they get 1 run on 2 hits, no Jammers errors, and 2 runners left. The score at the end of 6.5, Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. We'll pause 10 seconds here for station identification. You're listening to the Jammers Baseball Network. Ready for the Jammers half of the 7th. Top of the order, Conti, Estrada, and Conley due up. Conti, a home run away from the cycle. Tripled, doubled, and singled in tonight's game. Couple of RBIs, scored a couple of runs, and the first pitch to him is a strike called from Crandall Poor. 0-1 count in the pitch. Conti watches that one. Looked a little bit low from up here, but it's called strike 2 by Frank McClellan. No balls, 2 strikes on John Conti. Ground ball toward the second baseman Engel. Gets the glove down, scoops it up, and throws to Russ Olive to retire John Conti for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now up to bat, the third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
Chris Estrada with a bit of a resurgence here in the postseason is 0 for 1 tonight. Has been on base once when he walked back in the first inning. Also hit a sac fly in the third and a fly ball out to Tim Zeng for the final out of the 4th. Up here in the bottom of the 7th, 0-1 the count on him. Crandall Poor's 0-1 pitch. Hits in the dirt about 2.5 feet in front of home plate. Counts even at 1. Jammers have not scored since the 4th. Scored a single run in the first, 3 in the third, and a single tally in the 4th. And yes, even with Common Core math, that adds up to 5. Meanwhile, the Diamond Dogs with a single tally in the first, 1 in this top of the 7th, And with any kind of math, that's 2. That pitch misses outside. They check to see if he went around. Estrada took ball 2. Counts even at 2 now on Chris Estrada with 1 out and nobody aboard. Conti, Estrada, and Conley. Conti grounded out to Engel for the first out. 2-2 the count here, then way outside. Count now 3-2 on Chris Estrada. Chris Estrada, the young man from Corpus Christi, Texas, attending UTSA, heading into his senior year. 3-2 pitch. Hit hard to center field, but moving over as Ben Porter had him played at the right depth. And that will be out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 up, 2 down, and Chris Conley steps up.
Now up the bat, the DH number 17, Chris Conley.
Conley on the night is 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. That'll happen for Chris back in the 3rd inning when he singled home a run and eventually was driven in by Skylar Valentine on a triple. 2 out, nobody aboard here. First pitch to Conley's way outside. Ball 1, the count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 out, nobody aboard. Crandall Poor, second pitcher of the night for the Diamond Dogs, and this one's popped up and playable. Third baseman Dan Dealey in foul territory near the third base coach's box. Catches the pop-up off the bat of Chris Conley, pops out to Dealey 2 times tonight, and it's a 3 up, 3 down bottom of the 7th for the Jammers. No runs, no hits, no errors by the Diamond Dogs, and nobody left. At the end of 7, the score, Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing puts a bigger smile on my face than cooking up a big meal for family and friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in America who are struggling with hunger. These children, that's 1 out of every 5, often have to skip meals because there's just nothing to eat in the kitchen. Yet there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food produced right here in America to feed every last hungry child. If only there was a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across our country. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America at your local food bank and at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park. Just got a visit from my color commentator last night, Austin Alonge. Want to thank him for joining in the broadcast last night at Mohawk Valley. Right now, the Diamond Dogs, the meat of that order is up, facing Colin Johnston at the plate. Tim Zeng fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Zeng on the night is 0 for 3. Fly ball out to shallow center, caught by O'Donnell. Second out of the first. Fly ball out to Standahar for the final out of the third, and grounded out to Bernick for the first out in the 6th. Next pitch to Zeng, misses outside low, and the count 1-1. Colin Johnston with a big task here, trying to keep these Diamond Dogs quiet. We're in the top of the 8th inning. 1-1 count, and the pitch. Off-speed delivery. Looked like it was there, but no call forthcoming from the home plate umpire Frank McClellan. Count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Zeng, the leadoff batter, in the 2-1. Inside, almost hit him, ball 3. One interesting oddity back there in the Diamond Dogs half of the 7th. All 3 outs were recorded pitcher to first base. One by Corey Blessing on a bunt, and then Colin Johnston came in and retired 2 on groundouts. That pitch was in there, and the count's full with 3-2. Big payoff pitch on its way, but time called first by Tim Zeng. Got something in his eye. Shakes his head a little bit, now stands back in to face Colin Johnston. 3-ball, 2-strike pitch from Big Red. Ripped foul down the third base line into the third base bleachers. Count remains full with 3-2. Take a peek out the window and see if there's activity in the Jammers' pen, and indeed there is. Try to determine who is up at the moment. Ground ball down the first baseline. Charging in to get it is Brookover. Takes it to the bag and retires Tim Zhang for the first out here in the top of the 8th.
Now for that, the catcher number 20, Clay Koniewski.
And you may not think that ground out was a big deal, but it is. Getting the first out in the inning, and that was on a 3-2 pitch. Looked like Ryan Boyer may have been throwing down there. But he gets back down, and the first pitch to Koniewski is strike 1. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting catcher, Clay Koniewski. 0-1 pitch. Outside in the dirt, counts as even at 1. Koniewski with a solo homer back in the first, accounting for one of the 2 Diamond Dogs' runs tonight. Fly ball out to Conti in the 4th. And a ground ball to Ward O'Donnell. Nice belt-high hop OD to Ben Brookover to retire. Koniewski 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring up Russ Olive, the dangerous cleanup hitter in the order.
The first baseman number 24, Russ Olive.
Russ has one of the 4 hits on the night for the Diamond Dogs. He got that back in the 4th inning. He got the third base, but they could not get him in. He's 1 for 3 tonight. The first pitch by Colin Johnston just misses. It was over the outside corner below, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 out, nobody aboard the 1-0 pitch. Johnston stuck when he was reaching out with his plant foot and kind of twisted his back. Reaches back there and shows Matt Cross what he did. The dugout checks with Johnston. He says, I'm okay, so he'll pitch on. 1-0 the count. 2 out, nobody aboard the pitch. Outside corner, count evens at 1 on Russ Olive, left-handed hitting. First baseman of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnston's 1-1 pitch. High outside, ball 2. Count 2-1. Center fielder Ben Porter, who got things started back in the 7th, is on deck. If Olive can keep the inning going. 2-1 pitch. Ripped back right around the microphone that hangs on the outside of the home plate grandstand netting. Counts now even at 2. I still hear people, but I don't know, the mic took a beating that time. Sounded like it hit beside it. Still hanging there. 2-2 count, 2 out, nobody aboard. The pitch by Johnston. Oh my. Colin Johnston thought he had strike 3. The Jammers fans in attendance agreed, but the home plate umpire said ball 3. Another full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Colin Johnston trying to get Russ Olive. 3-2 pitch. Line drive past Estrada down the left field line for extra bases. Olive rounds first, on his way to second. Standahar with the throw in to second base, and Nick Bernick. Russ Olive with a 2-out double down the left field line. And the Diamond Dogs have something going here in the top of the 8th after 2 are out. Porter at the plate hit a double deep to left center back in the 7th inning. He also reached tonight on an error to Chris Estrada and hit a fly ball out to John Conti, making him 1 for 3 in the night. When he doubled back there in the 7th, he did score. 1 inning ago. 2 out here. First pitch misses way outside to Porter, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Colin Johnston Came back against Zeng to get him to ground out to Ben Brookover. Konieski grounded out to O'Donnell. Olive doubled. He's at second. That pitch catches outside corner. Count evens at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Olive at second and 2 out. 5 hits now on the night for the Diamond Dogs. 2 runs. That pitch way outside. Nice job by Cross to block that one. He smothered it in the left-hander's batter's box, and the count now 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Colin Johnston trying to work out of this 2-out mini jam with a runner at second and Olive. We're in the top of the 8th. Way outside. Good job by Cross again. Ball 3, 3-1 to count. After getting that one over the outside corner, Colin Johnston has been way wide on the next 2. To fall behind, 3 balls and a strike. The righty on the hill gets ready. Big Red's 3-1 pitch. Misses that outside corner, ball 4. And the mini jam gets into a little bit bigger jam now. And Anthony Barone makes a slow walk out toward the mound. See if he goes out with the intent to talk to Johnston, to see if he's of the mental acuity to finish this inning off. Also, we'll probably check with him physically to make sure when he kind of stuck on the ground on a follow-through that he didn't mess up his back too badly. And with the all-hands-on-deck mentality in the Jammers bullpen, Nolan Hunt gets up and starts to throw. Johnston's going to be given the opportunity to finish out this top of the 8th inning. Jammers trying to hold on to this 5-2 lead and force a Game 3 in the playoff series. Austin Pollock steps in. Runner at second, Olive. Ben Porter at first. Speed on the bases. And the first pitch. Over the outside corner, strike 1. Pollock has been on base 2 times, once via an error. And the dugout of the Diamond Dogs gets on home plate umpire Frank McClellan, and he gives him a warning. He says, that's enough out of you guys. Other time Pollock was on base, he was hit by a pitch an inning ago. Otherwise, a fly ball out to Conti. Swing and a miss, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Home plate umpire McClellan motioned that was a foul tip. It's held by Matt Cross. And this is where the rubber meets the road. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Jammers up by 3. Johnston trying to get the final out, the 0-2. Way outside. Pollock almost chased, but didn't. And the count out 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not the kind of situation you want to get wild in. 1-2 count. The pitch to Pollock. Off-speed delivery is ripped into the first base bleachers. Count remains 1-2. Nail biting time, if you're into that. Johnston trying to work out of this. Retired the first 2 batters, gave up a double to Olive, and then walked Porter. 2 on, 2 out. 1-2 pitch. Grounded weakly down the third baseline, charging in Estrada, throwing. And what a stretch by Ben Brookover at first to get Austin Pollock and retire the Diamond Dogs in the top of the 8th inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors for the Jammers, and 2 left on base. At the end of 7 1/2, the score, Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. Jamestown Jammers, Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Game 2 of a best-of-3 championship series. Jammers trailing 1-0, but leading tonight's game by a score of 5-2. New pitcher on the hill for the Diamond Dogs is Jonathan Sell. We saw him last night. He pitched an inning. He faced 4 batters and walked 1. Pretty simple line for him in last night's game. So not a lot of work for him, so he's right back out there again to face the Jammers here tonight. Do not have a pitch count on Sell last night, but I don't think it was very high. Finishing his warm-up tosses to Clay Konieski. It would appear as though everything else has remained the same in the field. Still have Monge Rodriguez at short. Second baseman still Joe Engel. You don't take Russ Olive out of the game. Pollock, Porter, and Zeng still in the outfield, and Konieski behind the plate. Middle third of the order for the Jammers as they try to spend 15 minutes and save 15% or more. Hopefully more. Although 15% would be okay here. See if the Jammers can get an insurance run and get that one back that they gave away there in the 7th. 3-run lead. Ben Brookover leads it off. And the first pitch to him. Sell misses high. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Ben on the night has been on base 2 times via the walk and on base 1 time on a fielder's choice. 0 for 1 officially on the night. 1-0 pitches high. Ball 2. Sell misses with 2. Really high pitches to Ben Brookover. Now he does a little work out there in the mound and doesn't like where his plant foot is ending up. Kicks the dirt away. Back up on the rubber and the 2-0. Popped up by Brookover out of play. Konieski started back. He knew that had a lot of height on it, but it was curling back and hit on the roof of the home plate grandstand to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 count. Diamond Dogs are down to their last 3 outs tonight. This one is fouled off over the first base bleachers, and the count now 2-2. And the Diamond Dogs have come from behind their share of times in 2017. 1 in extra innings in the early rounds of the playoffs. Trailing here 5-2. 2-2 count. Brookover awaits the pitch. Ground ball toward the shortstop. Monge Rodriguez bobbles as it comes up near his belt, but recovers in time. Nice juggling act by Alexis Monge Rodriguez to get Ben Brookover for the first out here in the Jammers half of the 8th.
Now up the bat, the center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine.
Valentine 1 for 3 tonight. Hit one deep to left field. It looked like Zeng had it at the wall, but he didn't. And he drove in 2 with that. That happened back in the 3rd when the Jammers scored 3. Otherwise, Skylar grounded out to the shortstop. back behind the second base bag, back in the first, and popped out the shallow left. That one is ripped down the left field line and falls in fair territory for extra bases. Zeng's just getting there, but Valentine, seeing that Zeng had started the throw in to Alexis Monge Rodriguez, holds at second base. One out double, Skylar Valentine.
Now off the bat, the shortstop number 1, Alex O'Donnell.
When you can pull one in this league, or really in most any league, you have the corner outfielders in off the foul lines, and that's generally conceded, and it's up to you to be able to pull one and keep it fair. Valentine did that time, and he stands at second base with one out and Alex O'Donnell at the plate. Jonathan Sell on the hill. And the first pitch to O.D. Misses outside low, ball 1. O.D. on the night, 0 for 3. Hit what he thought was a double back in the second inning. And after all 4 umpires converged, it was deemed that it was caught by Porter. Looked like a clean catch to me all the way. O.D. then grounded out 2 times to second baseman Joe Engel. Final out of the third, final out of the fifth. Next pitch to him, ball 2, and the count 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out, Valentine at second. Jonathan Sell, right-hander. 2-0 pitch is inside, squirts away from Konieski, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Bronx cheer out of the fans for the scoreboard getting ball 3 up there. That's when you know the fans are into the game. Some dew forming on the grass here, as you can see the footprints as we get into a cool evening at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and that's ball 4 to O'Donnell. Jimmy Standahar using OD's bat, or is it OD using Standahar's bat? It doesn't matter.
Now
Jimmy will come to the plate.
Left fielder number 29, Jimmy Standahar.
Jimmy with a little excuse me grounder down to Olive, which he threw to his pitcher Molnar covering back in the second inning for the second out there. Then doubled deep to left center field in the fourth. Came around to score. Struck out swinging in the sixth on a 1-2 pitch for the first down in that inning when we went up and down in order. Up here in the eighth, 2 on, just 1 out. And Valentine and O'Donnell make their way over to Anthony Barone at third, and Jimmy Standahar will join the conversation. Blake Nation buying time as he has another pitcher down there in the bullpen warming up. It could be Jonathan McKinney down in the bullpen warming up with Tom Moore, one of the backup catchers for the Diamond Dogs. Home plate umpire McClellan goes out, chases, well, you never chase Blake Nation out of anywhere, but he suggests that he goes back to the dugout, and he does, fortunately. All right, here's Jimmy Standahar with a big chance here. Valentine at second, O'Donnell at first, and 1 out. Ben Brookover started the inning with a ground out to Alexis Monge Rodriguez. And that is indeed John McKinney warming up. 2 on, 1 out. First pitch by Sell, way outside, ball 1. And talking about the dew on the grass, you can see every footprint that made it between home plate and the pitcher's mound in that last little conversation there. 1-0 pitch, catches outside corner, count evens at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on and 1 out. Jammers lead the game 5-2. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jonathan Sell with a 1-1 pitch is low, ball 2, count 2-1. Sell, the third pitcher of the night, Molnar started the game, went 3. Poole pitched 4. And now Sell out there. 2-1 count on Standahar in the pitch. Outside corner, PGCBL style. Counts even at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 on and 1 out. Righty Jonathan Sell. Ready with a break-even pitch to Jimmy Standahar, and took too long. Time was called. And when Sell heard the umpire yell time, he let it go. And it flew almost up to the press box. That was not the pitch that Sell was going to throw. It just turned out that way. Count even at 2. Jimmy's back in, and we'll get that break-even pitch again from Jonathan Sell. Here it is. High, ball 3. Not nearly as high as the one that flew out of his hand when time was called. Jonathan Sell, 6 foot, 205, from Charlton, attending Herkimer. Finished up his sophomore year there this spring. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss by Standahar. Valentine steals third. No, he's out. He slid in after strike 3 by Standahar, and he pulled his leg back to get up. And when he did, Dan Dealey put the ball right back on him, and he was called out. So it's an inning-ending double play of sorts as Valentine network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Chances are there'll never be an emergency ever again. But just in case, let's...
It is, however, a chance to play for all the money, marbles, and chalk tomorrow night. Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs are down to their final 3 outs. And they'll try to make things happen, starting off with the bottom third of their order. Dealey, Terwilliger, and Engel. I'd like to apologize to those of you who may have lost the feed for a while, as I got a phone call and that interrupts our streaming ability. Everything appears to be back online. 0-1 the count to Dealey, and the next pitch is swung on missed, and the count is at 0-2. Colin Johnston out there to start the top of the ninth. Ahead of Dealey, no balls, 2 strikes. Dealey 0 for 2 in the night, and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dan Dealey, the first out in the Diamond Dogs' half of the ninth. 3-run lead for the Jammers. 2 outs closer to forcing a Game 3, a deciding Game 3 in the best of 3 series. At the plate, Lucas Terwilliger takes the first pitch from Johnston, strike 1. 0-1 the count. 0-1 pitch. Inside, almost hit him. Terwilliger got out of the way, and the count at 1-1. Terwilliger 0 for 3 in the night. Called out on strikes in the second. Fly ball out to Standahar in the fifth and grounded out to Johnston. Little looper. Nice hop for Bernick. 2 gone. The Diamond Dogs are down to their final out. And this would be, if the Jammers can hold on, their first loss of the 20 17 postseason. Winning the one-and-done game and sweeping the Mohawks of Amsterdam. 2 out, nobody aboard the pitch. Outside corner, strike one called. 0-1 the count to Joe Engel. Joe is 1 for 3 tonight, an RBI single in the 7th. 0-1 pitch. Line drive, left field, coming in. Standahar makes the catch. We're headed to game 3. Get your butts out to the ballpark tomorrow night for a championship game here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Colin Johnston retires the Diamond Dogs in order in the top half of the 9th. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, hits, no errors by the Jammers, and your final score tonight, forcing a deciding game 3. Jammers 5, Diamond Dogs 2. What an exciting night here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, as this team refused to let this season come to an end. Jammers with a single run in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth for their 5. Mohawk Valley with a solo homer off the bat of Clay Konieski in the first, and a single tally in the bottom of the fourth. Make that the top of the 7th. Looking at the wrong line score. Single tally in the top of the 7th for their 2. The final score tonight, Jamestown Jammers 5, the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 2. A deciding game 3 in a best-of-3 championship series. Somebody's walking away with a pennant and trophy tomorrow night here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. So for Anthony Barone, Hayden Carter, Scotty James, the rest of the Jamestown Jammers, and the fine staff here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. For all of those folks, reminding you the final score tonight was Jammers 5 and the Diamond Dogs 2. This is Dave Shannon in Jamestown saying good night, everybody.